Now, what I want to do is I want to unshare my screen and bring Carrie back into this a little bit because I want to share some stories with you guys. Carrie, we have got so many great stories that people have from using these patches, and also from the business side of sharing these patches. So let's open it up to everybody. I'm going to unmute so people can unmute themselves, and let's see if we have any stories.
Sandra, your hand was first that I saw, so you go ahead and unmute and talk. My bestie from the Midwesty. I just made that up.
Well, I know it seems like a long time. Most people had their taxes done a long time ago. We, however, just had ours done today. And so when I got our taxes done, our tax preparer, who is new to us this year, when we had gone in initially, he was kind of like, oh, super pet. That's interesting. Okay. Nothing, right? So today he had another gal in with him and he said, yeah, maybe you need to talk to her and tell her a little bit about this super patch. Well, the only reason he brought it up is because I think when he was doing my taxes, he was like, oh, this is like a legit thing because she's made some good money this year with it. So now I caught his attention. And so I demoed the gal that was in the room, and she was like, no way. So then the tax preparer actually let me demo him, which he was not willing to do the last time. So I did him. To me, I mean, he's got to be close to 6 foot. I was like, oh boy, he's a lot taller than me, but it worked flawlessly. And then I find out, oh, then of course his wife, who's the receptionist, said, I don't feel like you guys are doing taxes anymore. So she joined in. So I demoed her as well. But the tax preparer, I find out, has a balance issue that he's been dealing with for quite some time. And he was wearing one of those, like, it's not a magnetic bracelet, but some bracelet that was supposedly supposed to help that hasn't done anything for him. So he's super excited. So before I left, he's like, I'm going to need your website, going to need to get some of those. And he was super excited because stairs are really hard for him. And he had just fallen and he just was amazed and couldn't believe it. So
I love that. And now you own their tax building. So you get free
and
taxes.
and we like to do business with people who do business with us, right? There
I
you
know
go.
that's right. I know that's right, right? I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Isn't it fun how when you demo someone out in public and it's like popcorn, they just like pop up and they're ready and excited. They don't want to be left out, y'all. So like that encourages me to continue doing demos in public because people don't want to be left out, right? Love it, Sandra. Thank you for sharing. And Michael Copperwhite.
Good evening. How are you? So last week, Wednesday night, I'm down in New York City. I'm at a baseball game, New York Mets. I grew up down there. I'm a Mets fan. And I've been going to Mets games since I was 8 years old. And what's the lifelong dream for someone to catch a foul ball, right? And I had never have done this in 50 years. So last Wednesday night, there's this ball off the bat, and this is screaming right at me. Now, of course, when I was 8 and 10 and 20, I wore a baseball glove to the park, but not last Wednesday night. So I had no common sense. And literally my thinking is, I'm going to jump in front of this ball and catch this. And it's screaming at me doing, I don't know, 80 miles an hour with this significant spin on it. And I couldn't not go for it, right? Steve understands this. So I was smart enough not to like stop it dead, but it kind of got through my hands. I did horribly, I have to admit this, I did not catch the ball. But man, it hit me in the hand going past me fast. And wow, did it hurt. So I quickly figured out that I didn't like break anything. And I was with 7 other people, like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And so I was able to, but it started to kind of sting pretty good. And then it just started to get really painful. And we leave, and I have a 3-hour drive home. And I'm in the car, and Lynn says to me, how's your hand? I go, it stings and it's sore, but I didn't break anything. And she looks at me like I'm an idiot, like, put on a patch. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? It's like on my palm. And so we put a patch on the top of my hand. And I swear to you, within 5 minutes, I kind of start to do this. And she goes, what's up? I go, all the pain is completely gone. Like, this is ridiculous. This works so fast.
And
So,
you've been talking about these about as long as I have, and it
Oh,
still
God.
blows your mind,
it
right?
still blows my mind. Yeah. So I did not catch the ball, but I got a great testimonial for tonight. Thank you.
Everyone, put your hands together for the newest Mets player on the Zoom. Congratulations, Michael Copperwhite. I'm sure you played well, bro.
Oh my God, it was awful, but fun.
Wow, that's a great story. You're going to tell that one for years. Thank you for sharing. And I love our Freedom Patch. I love it, love it, love it. Crystal Green, I see your hand is up. I'm so excited about all these stories tonight, by the way, Steve. We're getting through all of them, just so you know. This is my favorite part. Go ahead, Crystal.
Well, normally I share like happy, well, this is kind of a happy story, but at the same time, I don't know, it's a little bit more vulnerable. You know, I wear all of our patches because like Steve said earlier, I'm a hot mess. But a few days ago, I was going through something I don't talk about very outwardly. I struggle with depression, and my mood was down for quite a few days. We've had a lot of cloud cover in Minnesota that affects me a lot. And I was finding myself falling back into some habits that just, you know, aren't healthy for my thought process and things. And I was very negative. I was in a really bad negative mindset. And of course, I had joy in front of me for a few days, but I never put it on. And I think that's some of the depression, you know, like you fight like helping yourself. And I finally went and I put that joy patch on, you know, it was like 2 days ago. And it was like a half hour later, I was able to take a breath for the first time in what felt like a week, you know? And it's something we always talk about, like less pain, and those are really great things. And I love the Liberty Patch. I've shared my story so many times about that, but it's just something about being able to put that joy patch on your skin and your whole world and outlook changing. And I've experienced it, you know, helping other people, but to feel that for myself after really being in a dark place for a few days and just feel that all lift so that I can function again, it was a really, really important thing to have in my house that day, not just for me, but for my kids, you know? So I thought I'd share that, you know, because I'm always smiling, but there's a reason behind that. It's called joy.
I love that. And I love that you could be honest with us and share that with us. There are many people that deal with what you deal with. Most are just not bold enough to share. So thank you for that. Teresa Perry, let me hear from you tonight. What is up?
I had a friend that got in touch with me the other day. She is a foster mama, and she has two little girls. One is 3 and 5, I believe, is the ages, and she was asking me about the REM patch. She said those little girls were all over the place. She can't get them to calm down at night, and they are not allowed to give them anything like melatonin or anything like that. So she was asking me if the patches were safe, and I said absolutely, slap them on them. So a couple of days ago at nap time, not at night, but at nap time, she put those patches on, and she called me and she said 22 minutes. She said in 22 minutes, both girls came with their blankets and their little stuffed animals and said, I'm tired. I've got to go to sleep.
Oh.
So she called me today and she said, I need to get some more of those patches. And so that is a definite plus for me, because I love to hear that we can help children as well as adults.
Yes, I love that so much. And don't you know that gave her peace of mind? Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Teresa. I love that. That warms my heart. Paula Rudd is the screen, but that's Dana Fisher that I see. I know y'all are having a watch party over there in El Paso. Can't wait to see y'all next week.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you. My mom had 8 teeth pulled Thursday because she's getting dentures.
Oh, okay.
And all right here and all that. Anyway, she got big bruises. So I was, you know, worried because I was leaving Friday. So I was like, make sure you have your pain patch, Mom, your freedom patch. So anyway, she wore 2, one on both sides. She did not have any other pain, though. She didn't take any of her prescribed drugs and, you know, pills. And she even came to church on Sunday happy.
Did she still have the patches on her face when she came to church?
No, no, she didn't have any pain though.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she did too. By the way, you can't overdose on her patches. If you want to wear 12 Ignite because you're really trying to get that summer body, I mean, be my guest. Wear 12 today, right, Steve? Put it over your mouth. Thank you for sharing that, Dana. That's really cool. I love that. I love when we have something where we don't have to have side effects. These get better and better and better. By the way, you don't have to wear more than one, but sometimes we feel better when we have more than one. Just that's a mind thing, right? That's a mind thing. Whatever works. I'm glad that helped her. Thanks again for sharing. Richard Gibson. That sounds like a very professional name, Richard. Please unmute and share with us a story you have. Can't wait to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm Richard Gibson. I live out here in North Carolina. I'm a United States Army veteran. And I've had both of my hips replaced back a couple of years ago. In so much pain, I was crying on the floor, grown man crying. But anyway, I also need my right knee replaced right now. It's bone on bone. And so Saturday, I got out of the bed, was going to use the restroom, and I almost fell because I could not put pressure on my knee. It was just hurting so bad. Fortunately for me, I had already met my sponsor, Thelma Marion. She had helped me out, and I ordered some Freedom patches, and they came Saturday afternoon. And when they got here, I slapped one on that calf right there. And I promise you, in 20 minutes, I was walking again. I mean, when I got out of the bed, I couldn't walk. I had to use a walker with wheels on it, just to get around in my house. And it was just very, very painful. But it's amazing how the patch just took all the pain away. I mean, not all the pain away. I still need a knee replacement, and it's still bone on bone, but I can manage. And also have a pinched nerve in my neck that makes it hard for me to lift my arm up like this. I know it doesn't look like it's hard for me to do because I have this patch here. So it's not really hard to do with the patch on there. Yeah. It's amazing. And I appreciate everything. Thanks, Super Patch.
Yeah, right. We owe our life to the guy that created it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for your service. Most importantly, thank you so much. There are so many patches we have, Richard, that will help you with that kind of background. So keep trying them out, keep doing different things, and get loud about it. I've got such a heart for the service. One more, Christopher Michael, we'll hear from you, and then I'll turn it back over to Steve after I share one real fast one, Steve.
I feel kind of guilty about saying what I'm about to say because I'm using the patches to do like some really fun and exciting things in my life that is, and it's just made it ever so much better. And I really love hearing stories about people, with, feeling better and pain going away and stuff like that. But I'm doing some really cool stuff. So a little background on me. I don't know if you guys know, I'm 22 years in the U.S. Navy. And just this spring, I got orders out to Guam, and I started. I went out to Guam. I was out there for 4 weeks. It was a fantastic time, and I absolutely love sharks, and I love shipwrecks. And so while I was out there, I did some of the most fantastic shipwreck diving that I've ever done in my life. So there's shipwrecks out in Guam that date back from World War I. And I was on that shipwreck and a World War II shipwreck that was down there in the harbor there. And so there are people that do what's called nitrox diving out there. And I was not trained on nitrox. I was only doing regular air diving. And I was able to outperform the nitrox divers with wearing the patches that I'm wearing. So I'm wearing Victory, and I'm wearing Freedom, and I'm wearing Defend. And I really want to show you guys these pictures of me down at 120 feet under the surface of the water with a super patch on and the bag that they come in. I brought some down there for product placement at 120 feet on a shipwreck. And I'd love to show it to you guys. So then I got done in Guam and I went to Hawaii. And in Hawaii, I did the same thing, shipwrecks and sharks. And we had so much fun. It was my brother and I, and we had so much fun out there, but it really, really has improved my ability to dive and how much energy I have down there. And normally when I get done with these dives, I get to the surface, I want to crawl in bed and just die. And I was ready to go. I was ready to go for the next dives. I'm in Hawaii. I'm in Guam. We're going out to dinner. We're having drinks and having a great time. And I've got so much more energy, and it's just really fantastic. So
Thank y'all so much for sharing. I have one super fast story, and then I'm turning it back to Steve. Oh, I love this so much. When I was on my mission trip in Moldova, one of the young men, we had 13 people total, 6 kids and 7 adults. And one of the young men was super active and couldn't calm down. And that would make him have different mood swings and such. If you can kind of pick up on what I'm saying, he had a hard time controlling his focus and where his brain would go and all this stuff everywhere and around. And he came to me and he was like, I'm not getting any sleep. And we just continued to have a conversation, and his mind won't slow down. And he said, my dad did not send my medication with me that he was prescribed in the US. His dad didn't send his medication with him because he thought with it being a narcotic, if that was going to be something to be allowed to travel with. Okay. His dad just didn't do his homework, but better safe than sorry, I guess, right? So you can kind of pick up on what I'm telling you. And I said, listen, I have something that will help you calm your brain and help you focus and help you be able to adjust those thoughts and feelings. I said, can we try it? And he's like, oh, well, I packed some melatonin and da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay. Me thinking melatonin is just as bad as the narcotic. And I said, let's just try it and see. So I put a focus patch on him, you guys. Okay. Focus is just exactly that. Think about that word and what that does. He came to me the next day and he was so grateful. He's 16 years old and said, whatever is in that, I need more of it. I said, well, lucky for you, there's nothing in it. And I'll talk to your parents whenever we get back. But a 16-year-old, recognizing what that does. If we don't get loud about this, there is a problem with all of us, because we have heard some incredible stories tonight from some amazing people. These are real life stories. Steve and I don't call people up and plan these out and say, hey, you say this and you say this, and you went 150 feet under the water and you caught a baseball at the Mets game and you did this and that. We don't do this. And oh, Sandra, hold off on your taxes, please, because we're going to need you to talk about that. We don't do any of this, y'all. This is real life. I've had people ask me before, are these recorded? I'm like, yeah, but we're real people here, like telling a story. So, Steve, thank you for letting us take so much time doing this. I loved every bit of it.